Today, before I start, I just want to tell you that today is a wonderful day according to the Panchang. It says Purna Ravi, which means that Ravi is the sun and Purna means full. Today, the sun is full. And when anything is full, what happens? It's overflow. So what is happening today is Surya Bhagavan, although he's giving out a lot of light and a lot of energy, but he's giving out some special ingredients today, things that are hidden within his bosom. And today, by overflowing, all those good qualities are flowing on this Mother Earth. Consequently, if we put our cup where this nectar or this wonderful Amrit is flowing, then we could be able to collect great, great happiness. And don't forget, Surya Bhagavan is divine light, which means that if you collect this energy, collect the special Amrit that is flowing today, you will feel very, very energized. You will feel very, very light-hearted. You will feel that wherever you go, you will never be in darkness. You will feel that Lakshmi Mata, through the grace of Surya Bhagavan, would brighten your entire surroundings. So you'll have no doubts. You will have no doubts. You'll have no misgivings. What path to take, what decision to make, and so forth, because everything would be quite clear in front of you. And this is the grace that Surya Bhagavan is bestowing today. And also it's Meen Rasi, which means that with this knowledge, like a goat, you can climb to greater heights. You can climb to greater things. You can achieve greatness in this life. So it's a wonderful day. And we have been so far receiving great intellect and great intelligence, starting from the youth. And most of all, what Kiran has done today was wonderful and very illuminating and very light-hearted, but very profound. And I'd like to especially say a big thanks to Bhaiya Som for what an intelligent discussion and what a beautiful pravachan he has brought out. Is the notes that my sister-in-law normally gives to me, but he read it out before me. So unfortunately, all my notes is finished. But I'm glad that he touched on some important issues. Right? But before I go there, can I ask all of you to join me in this special Pratna to Surya Bhagavan so that we can receive that divine light, that divine guidance. Let's put our hands together. All of you know the mantra because I've taught it several times at the mandir. So let's go. Om Sri Suryaye Namah. Om Sri Suryaye Namah. Om Sri Suryaye Namah. Om Ye Suryo Sahasrasho Tejo Rasi Jagatpati
Anukampe Mandeva
Grahanantva Parameshwara Grahanantva Parameshwara. Om Sri Suryaye Namah. Om Sri Suryaye Namah. Bolo Surya Bhagavan ki Jai. Thank you all very much for joining in that prayer. And let's hope that Bhagavan Surya spreads this whole universe with his divine light, gives peace, happiness, and contentment, remove all dukh dalidrata, all unhappiness, and all sadness from our lives. And those who we care about, those who are close to us, may Surya Bhagwan help them also in their journey of life. Om Shanti Shanti Hari Om. Bhayasom touched on the senses, he touched on the mind, and he touched on intelligence. I said on many occasions, that all these things, the senses, for example, which drives desire, causes action to take place. An action is of two kinds. Anjani refers to it in our discussion on the Gita. She referred to action and inaction. Well, let me tell you something. If you don't, I know all of you realize it. How many of you got a right hand and how many have got a left hand? All of us, hopefully. Yes? If somebody tell you, if I ask you to raise your right hand, can everybody raise your right hand to me? Right. Now, if I ask you to raise your left hand to me, kindly do. So there is no doubt in your mind which is right and which is wrong. But I said on many occasions also that there is no school in the world, there is no college in the world, there is no university in the world which teach you negativity, which teaches you how to be sad, which teaches you how to get temper, how to be angry, how to be upset. But God help all of us. Without going to school, we all know how to get angry. We all know how to get upset. We all know how to get miserable, although we haven't gone to school. And this is the problem we have got. Because action, although we know absolutely what is right, we still end up doing the wrong things. So this is why Bhagwan given us two hands, as I said. The one hand is the right hand, which I've told you already of the 5 duties that we have to do. The duty towards your parents, the duty towards yourself, the duty towards your spouse, the duty towards your God, and duty towards your community. These are the 5 important duties that we have to do. But we forget this. We forget the right hand. We forget to do the right things. So we go to the left hand, which nobody teaches us to do. And you know what these are? Kam, Krodh, Moha, Lobha, Ahankar. Nobody teaches these things, but boy, every one of us are very good at it. We have so much ahankar that if somebody tell you something that is light-hearted, you get angry. If somebody try to bring you down a little bit or to insult you a little bit, you get so upset. So these, if you don't do the 5 right things, then you must be prepared to receive these 5 bad things, the left things, the things which you should left. But these are the things that we uplift more and most. The things that we should left, the things that we should leave behind. But we somehow lift these up in preference to doing the right things. So action must be performed with intelligence Bhagwan Krishna tell Arjun in the first chapter, he explains the difficulty of getting attached to things that are transient, things that born and die, things that come and go. And then he went on and he explained about Karma Yoga in chapter 2, in chapter 3. And he explained that karma, action, can be done in two ways. Action could be done without proper intelligence, without proper knowledge, without inspiration, without proper guidance. And these actions that are performed in that light, it will only bring you material things. It'll bring you food, clothing, shelter, roti, kapra or makan. But it will not bring you the true fruits of life, which is true happiness. These things, it will allow you to buy a beautiful bed, but it will not make you have the best sleep there is. It's only by your mind being controlled by your intellect, as Bhaya Som put it. And he went in very, very much detail, told you about the different sharir, man maya kosh, and all these things. He went in detail. Thank you, Bhaya Som, for being such lucid in your explanation. But action of itself must be controlled, must be guided. And guidance, proper guidance, will give you the good results, will give you the right results. It'll drive you, force you, direct you towards correct action. But if you don't do that, then prepare yourself. If you don't prepare yourself to be happy, then prepare yourself to be miserable. You know, during this lockdown time, people have been talking, what they've been talking about? Not so much COVID now. COVID is going. People are talking about mental stress, mental problems, mental difficulties. That is the catchphrase now on television. So if you don't want these mental things, you must do your duty. And do your duty perfectly. Because that is the true action. And that is the true light that you'll get. And remember what Krishna Bhagavan says in the second chapter. Arun spent a lot of time explaining it. He says action is of two kinds. One, action will give you short-term results, short-term happiness, or true action with knowledge would give you long-term happiness. That form of happiness that nobody can take away from you. And that is divine guidance. Yeah? The bhajan goes, O Manware, O Manware, क्या है जग में तेरा, ओ मनवारे, क्या है जग में मेरा, ओ मनवारे, क्या है जग में तेरा, ओ मनवारे क्या है जग में मेरा. What we must understand, that in this material life there cannot be long-term happiness. They will always happiness would be tinted by sadness, because we are living in this material life. And once you're living in this material life, where your actions are influenced by your senses, because of desire, because of want, because of Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh and Ahankar, then you must be prepared for sadness to come. So let us not for one moment think and say, why is he happy and why is he sad? Why some people are happy and some people sad? Bhagwan says that if you want happiness, you must sow the seeds of happiness. If you want wealth, then you must sow the seeds of wealth. Whatever your desire is, sow that seed and you'll get the results. And we know in our philosophy, we know of different things to do in order to get material happiness and spiritual bliss. If you want material happiness, then you do puja. If you're ill, then you do puja, graha shanti puja, that will go. But these are temporary things. So I want to say to you, in simple terms, watch your action. And most of all, watch the cause of your action. What is causing you to take that action? If the action is driven by the senses, then don't expect long-term happiness. If your action is driven by intelligence, then you're putting away happiness into a spiritual bank account that no thief, nothing can touch it. It is for you to draw whenever you want. And you know the beauty of it is this. Once you store something up in that spiritual bank account, it never diminishes. It never gets smaller. The more you activate it, the more the devatas put in more into that bank account for you. So it is very simple. Life is very, very simple, but we make it complicated. And I'll tell you a short story and I'll conclude. There was a young boy who was looking after his father's cows. And what he does, he takes the cow early in the morning and he takes him into the greenest pasture and he lets the cow there to graze. And as the sun comes out, he goes under this tree and he relaxes under the tree. And what he does when he relaxes under the tree, you know, like young boy, he puts his foot up on the tree and rests his back on the other tree. And then he turns, he looks up in the heaven and what he says? He says, hello, friend up there. What you doing? He says, hey, can't you see me? You probably finish your work now. You're probably just like me. Come, let's have a chat. You probably put your cows out to graze like I have done. You have freedom, I have freedom. Come on, let's have a chat. Let's talk to each other. Let's laugh with each other. Let's share some good times with each other. This cowherd boy talking to that other cowherd boy up there. He said, you look after your cow now, you finish. I have looked after my cow. We have time now to talk. So a Swami was passing, and the Swami heard this boy talking. So he said, hey, you. So the boy said, I'm talking to someone. He said, who are you talking to? You mad? The boy said, no, I'm talking to that other cowherd boy up there. They call him Krishna, they call him all sorts of names, but he was just a cowherd boy like me. So we are at equal level, we're talking to each other. So the Swami said, don't be stupid. God doesn't speak to any and who. I'm a Swami. You know how many chalisas I read every day? And God doesn't speak to me? He can come and speak to you. He said, look, boy, here's the Shiv Chalisa. Read it 21 times every day. And don't waste your time trying to call that person to speak to. And as he was walking, the Swami said, well, at least I've converted somebody. I teach somebody how to speak to God now. And he's walking down the road. And as he was walking down the road, an Akash Bani came from the heaven. And he said, hey, Murk. He said, hey, fool. One of my devotees was talking to me every day. We had a special appointment. He was talking to me. We were communicating to each other. You go and give him now to read a book which he can't read. He has never been to school. He doesn't know to read Hindi. And you give him a book with Sanskrit in it. How you expect him to read it? And not only one time, 21 times you ask him to read. He said, no, my friend, you have done me a great injustice. You have lost me one of my greatest disciples. So, my friend, go back and take your Shiv Chalisa and tell that cowherd boy that I've been waiting for him. And I'm waiting for him to have this discussion with me. So what I'm trying to say to you is simplicity of mind, simplicity of purpose, simplicity of objective is the source of happiness. And however you can make yourself happy in this world, just go for it. Don't make anybody steal that happy moment from you. How clever you think that person is, how intelligent you think that person is. Remember, God wants us all to be happy. God wants us all to be successful. So the action you take will give you the happiness which you so richly deserves. And there are a few points I want to make. What you think of most in life, that's the reward you're going to get. What you think of most in life, that's the thing you're going to attract most in your life. So this little boy who was thinking about Krishna every day, that's what he's going to get in his life. He's going to get true happiness, which is communion with Bhagwan. When the Atma links with Paramatma, there is nothing else in this world that will give you a happier moment than that moment. So may God bless you for listening. And I'd like to thank Bhayasum again for his lovely pravachan. And God bless all of you for listening. Bolo Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Thank you.
Thank you, Nana, for that enlightening pravachan. And it's nice to hear from you so early in the call as well. So now I'm going to pass over to this week's special guest. It's